I have a 6-year-old little boy named Caleb. And Caleb is afraid of the dark. Go to sleep and put the nightlight on and he'll still be scared. Daddy, can you sleep with me? Daddy, can you lay down with me? Daddy, can I lie down in your room? He's afraid. And I realized something. I realized that the times when he has his peace, it's not when the lights are on, but it's when I'm with him. He feels peace. I'll go lie down in the room, he'll feel safe, he'll feel secure, because I'm with him. Nothing about his situation changed. The room is still dark. The night has still come. But all of a sudden, his father is with him, and he feels a sense of peace. See, I believe God is calling us to something greater, and a lot of us are afraid. Afraid of failing, but some of us are afraid of succeeding. What if we become uber successful at this thing that may not be the thing that God wants? What if we just kill it at this thing and we don't know how to handle all the pressure? But I'm here to remind you, God is with you. Situation may not change. Still may be dark in that room. But once you invite God to that table, all of a sudden your perspective changes. There's a story about Elijah in the Bible, and they were fighting this war, and their people were surrounded, and one of the soldiers said, "Oh no, we're about to lose this battle. I'm surrounded. And he prayed, he said, "God, open up his eyes so he can see." All of a sudden, eyes are open. He saw an army of angels surrounding the enemy army. My prayer for you, my prayer for me, my prayer for all of us is that God would open up our eyes so we can see what he has for us. Your reputation precedes you. You see, I travel a good bit as the band comes up. I travel a good bit, and I speak, and I go all around the world and around the country. And it's interesting when I go to places and meet people, I don't get the response that I got when I came here. See, when I came here and I told them what I was doing here, they said, "Oh, I know that church. That's the Good Neighbor Church. They come and they serve. They're working on sex trafficking. They give out food. They help us. They are the hands and feet in a lot of ways of Jesus. I know that church." Their reputation precedes them. But once again, for whatever reason, we stop. We hide. We pretend. We make ourselves small because we don't believe that God can really use us in a mighty and a powerful way. But if I could just remind you of one thing, and I'll tell you this as I close. Something that a mentor of mine told me. It was my last year in Chicago, and I just signed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. Like I was on top of the world. But for whatever reason, I felt empty. I had a friend, had a mentor. He sat with me and sharing with him some of the things I've been struggling with. I said, "I'm not being the dad I want to be, the husband I want to be, the friend I want to be." And like that woman who I sat with, I began to cry. He looked at me and he said, "Hey, Sam, it's really nice to see you. The real you. Not the one who pretends to fit in with everyone else, but the one who's competitive, yes, kind, emotional, strong, and driven. It's nice to see you." See, when I shared some of my scars, some of my fears, some of my pain with this friend of mine, he saw power. He didn't see fear, he didn't see weakness, he saw strength. So many of us, we feel like we have to be this strong hero and leader. We have to have it all together as a mother, as a teacher. And God says, no, when you are weak, that's when my power can be made strong in you. Share your weakness. Share your scars. My friend, he said, Sam, it's nice to see you. I appreciate you. I've known you for 10 years. I've never seen this side of you, but this is powerful. There's something special there. Continued that season, and so much happened. We had an injury. I got released. I had a broken leg. I mean, so much happened that year. And kind of to culminate it all, I lost a mentor of mine, next door neighbor from my time in Arizona. His name was Jerry Price, and he had cancer. And he had sent this message on Facebook saying, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to see Jesus. He was 70-something years old, been married for 50 years, had kids, grandkids, business. He said, I'm ready to see Jesus. And so I call him up, like, what do you want me to say, right? Like, you've poured so much into me. How do you want me just to accept this? So I just say, hey, man, hey, Jerry. We've been neighbors for 2, 3, 4 years. I used to go to your house all the time and listen to you and your wife, Judy, and watch you all. I was a young married man. My wife we had just gotten married, so we just sit and learn from them. So I said, before you go, give me what you got. What advice, what wisdom, what words of encouragement, what do you have for me before you leave? I said, Sam, I have 2 things for you before I go. He said, number 1, the most important thing you can do on this earth is to get to know Jesus. He said, God gets no greater joy than you getting to know Jesus, and you also get no greater joy than you spending time with Jesus. Get to know Jesus. He understood something about identity. This world is passing away. Get to know Jesus. And he paused. I'm sitting there like, okay, he said there was 2 things, and like, if that was 1, man, 2 better be really fire. You know what I mean? Like, and he paused. And he said, Sam, the second thing I want you to know before I go is that you are worth getting to know. Never forget that. You are worth getting to know. Good Neighbor Church, the church at RB, y'all know Jesus, but you are worth getting to know. This community needs more of you. San Diego needs all of you, not just parts, not just pieces, not who you used to be. They need all of you. What you've been doing, double down. Get in the community even more. Serve, love, commit, be open, share your scars, share your weaknesses so God's strength can be made full in you. The church at RB, the Good Neighbor Church, really the Good Samaritan Church. Can we use that, Jared? The Good Samaritan Church. You are worth getting to know. You are the hands, you are the feet, you are the light, you are the life. God wants to use you to change not just this community, but the world. Don't play small. Don't hide. Don't pretend. Don't act like you are not enough. You are more than enough. Christ's power is made perfect in your weakness. You've known Jesus. Now let everyone else see you. Let the world see you. Let your community, your neighbors, your people who you work with, let this entire nation see you. Just like that hotel attendant when I walked in and he said, no, I know that church. Their reputation precedes them. That's the Good Neighbor Church. They love me well. They love our community well. They serve us well. I know them. Give me more. More loving. More serving. More leading. Give us more. Get to know Jesus. But you as a church, y'all are worth getting to know.